Networks. Easy Radio. Disruption Networks.
What's up, everybody? How are you? It's a wacky Wednesday, the Hump Day Hoedown here on EC Radio. You can follow along on all Disruption Network social media platforms, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all those social media platforms that are absorbing all your brain energy as it does mine on a daily basis. You find yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and it does nothing for you. But anyways, I'm glad you decided to stop strolling and you decided to watch this, though. So thank you very much for your participation. Get today's guest, Roy Coston, coming up in a little bit, and give a big shout out to my sponsors, EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his fine staff over there at EJA. They'll move pretty much anything you need for them to move. They'll even pick up a house. They'll literally pick up a house. They got a lot of gear. They can pick up a house and they can actually physically move your actual house to a different location. They do that. They lift it off on blocks and off the foundation, and they'll put it pretty much wherever it needs to go. EJAmoving.com. You can find them online or call them at 315-335-0516. When you're ready to move and relocate, have EJA do it for you. Also, a shout out to my attorney, Dave Longaretta, who's been keeping me out of trouble for many, many years. 315-735-6162 is the hotline you could call for legal advice. Big ups to my friends over at Utica Coffee. And I make some potent coffee. I don't know what it is. I don't measure anything. Me and Roy were talking about how I don't measure anything at all. And it makes for very strong coffee.
I can smell it from here.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the coffee.
I have like 3 sips of it, and I'm like, all right, ready to go. Here we go. It's instant. It really is. I think what Utica Coffee over there on Genesee Street with Frank and Heather and all the fine staff over at Utica Coffee, my good friend Michelle McSweeney, are doing over there. Hey, Utica Coffee is absolutely wonderful, so go check them out, and they have delicious coffee. And also, Saranac Brewery, give a big shout-out to the Fred Matt family for always keeping me hydrated here on the D. Big ups to the Matt family. Roy Coston in the house today, bud. Good to see you, man.
Yes,
we finally get to do this.
I know. It's been a while, so yes, here we go.
How you holding up? Good?
We are holding up with this New York weather that we have here, so yes.
How long have you been growing your hair?
Everybody asks me that. I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm old, so about that old.
Yeah, it's like since the 70s?
80.
80s?
How's
Okay.
that? 80. We'll go with 80.
Do you ever think about cutting it for like Locks for Love or any of those kind of no organizations? No?
No.
No.
I've been asked many a times.
I bet.
But yeah.
I bet.
But I like it about this length now.
Is it a quick no or a slow no when they ask you?
It's a quick no.
Quick no.
The worst part about it is when things like that, when you're playing, people come up, is your hair real? And they come up and the first thing they do is grab it. And you're like, you know, of course it is.
Yeah.
That's the big irritation, I think, because my hair is real.
Yeah. Back in the early 90s, how many people got you confused with Zach Wilde?
No, they still do.
Still do, to this day.
Yes. Greg Allman.
Greg Allman's another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear all kinds of stuff. Yes. Yep.
You're like, I'm not that.
I'm no angel.
Have you ever taken a picture posing as one of those people that they think you are?
Mark Farner from Grand Funk, before I got all the grays and started coloring. Yeah, there's a picture of Mark Farner from Grand Funk in like 1969, and I forgot what year it was, 96 maybe. You look at the two. Yeah, I did some stuff like that. Yeah, kind of neat.
Before and after pictures, too.
Who I look like now with this COVID weight and
Yeah.
Leslie West.
COVID weight? No, you look great, man. You look healthy.
I tried it.
I know you
I
had
got
some
like,
health struggles.
Yeah, 50 more pounds on than I should, but hey,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you know, we've been sitting inside the house for how long now?
I know.
It's kind of hard to shake it.
Yeah, try to exercise, write music, and do all that stuff. But
Yeah.
yes.
Are you keeping active creatively?
Oh, yes, so
musically?
let's start this. Yes, with this thing. That's why we're here. People like you. Thank you very much to try to keep the names out there, because my doctors have told me not to go out and play. I know there's few people out there that are playing. He told me to stay out of the bars right now with all my health conditions.
For sure.
And
Makes sense, though.
I have sarcoidosis, which is like one of those immune deficiencies that falls in the family of lupus, and that where your skin, I got skin rashes, and there's nothing you can do. So my lungs are shot, my kidneys are shot, and also I am a stroke survivor. So my doctor said, stay out till the summertime comes, and things will hopefully change by then. So, and that's what I'm praying, so we can get out and start playing. And then once the vaccines get out and things get back to normal, then I'll get back out. Right now, I'm just writing music.
Yeah, good.
I put out some solo stuff. I'm on Spotify, all over the place, all those things. It's going out as Roy Coston. I ended up playing 3 songs. I always wanted to do like an instrumental type thing. It's not like an Ingve or anything like that. Like you said, it's kind of more like the Zakk Wylde, the 70s. My heroes, Pat Travers, Ace Frehley, Punky Meadows.
Yeah.
Mick Box from Hurrah Heap, all those guys. So it's kind of more of that. And it's got positive response. I think I checked, I got $1.63 in my account from all the Spotify listens.
So you got like 40,000 spins.
yeah. And I got enough to buy a candy bar, so thank you. I go to a dollar store.
That's hysterical.
Lots of projects. I ended up. Okay, so here we go. Reworking the Four Large Men stuff. The first lineup, I am the last man standing.
Yeah.
On the way up here, I was thinking about that. Kevin passed away 2013. Rick passed away 2018, and Jerry passed away next month. It'll be 2 years.
Oh, wow.
2019. So, and it's not like we just put a band together. Kevin was the original drummer of Ardent. So I joined Ardent, according to my papers, November 8th, 1981.
Okay.
So I was still in high school. So I knew Kevin since then, up until his passing. We did a reunion show a year before he passed away. Rick I knew since 7th grade, and Rick is also the godfather of my 2 younger kids. So it's not like we were friends, even though the bands weren't playing. And Jerry I knew since 1980. And it's just very odd for me to sit here, talking about all that because, they're gone.
I think it's important that you document the story, though, and get it down so people know. We put it out there.
That's
We
what
put
I've been
content out there.
doing with the first Four Large Men. I put out a CD. I made like 50 of them. A lot of it for family and friends, because everybody was asking. So I do have a couple left. If anybody's interested, hit me up and we can work out a deal. But Jerry wasn't part of Four Large Men 2, I should say, technically 3 or whatever you want to call it, with Wayne Johnson and Monster Mike Merrifield. I have the master tapes to that. I have the master tapes to Ardent with Kevin and DC Strut. So my goal, I have like 8 master tapes, the 2-inch, the 1/2-inch. So going a long story short,
The kids are like, what's the 2-inch tape?
Reel to reels.
No, I know.
I have to explain that, reel to reels.
Yeah.
And also that's hard to find. You can't use those. The tapes are 30 plus years old. So I have 2 rock and roll mentors. I have Dave DeFay from Virgin Steel and John Gallagher from Raven. Both have been helping the Four Large Men stuff and all that. So Dave helped me remaster the first Four Large Men. Dave lives down in Long Island, so if you like, if they, how do you say it nicely? If they played around here, nobody really heard of them. But if they go to Europe, they sell stadiums.
Yeah, why is that?
It's kind of like a Man of War type thing. Another local band that should recognition and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I talk to Dave all the time, and Dave said that there's a place down in New York City. He has he takes master tapes to. He's taking the House of Atreus, Volume 1 and 2, to this place in Long Island. He goes, why don't you come down? Deb and I usually go down there every couple of years. So we're going to go down to Long Island, drop the tapes off, and have them baked and transfer the digital. So Dave is going to help me do all that. So I got enough work to keep me busy the next couple of years.
How many reel-to-reels did you find? Did you find a bunch?
Yeah, I have all that stuff in the basement. Yeah, probably 8 anyways.
Yeah,
maybe 10. Because you're going back to like 81. Even with the original lineup, I still have I got all that.
Yeah, good.
I got tons.
It's good that you collect.
I got totes and totes of demos and tapes and things, which comes out. We go to.
And he brought props today.
I brought props. There's some. This is. I signed a deal with Retrospect Records many years ago, and we won't go that, but it was all done with a lawyer, et cetera, et cetera. And but DC Strut and Ardent here, if you can find these. But I am going to re-release this stuff properly. on my own. And
So what came first, Ardent or DC Strut?
Ardent came first.
Ardent came first. And then that was 1980, you said? Or
1981.
81, okay.
We were originally a 5-piece.
Okay.
And that ended in, I think, 83, 84.
So were you gigging in high school too?
Yes, before that, yes. My first gig I played for my guitar teacher was this Tom Raisley. He had a guitar day, so I was like 13 years old. I started playing when I was 11, so that was the summer of '76, I believe.
You picked it up quick.
Yeah, it took a few years, but yeah. So then he got me going. So in junior high, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, I was playing with the chorus, playing it back up, with the mixed chorus, and then I got into all that. High school, well, even before that, we started playing in bands.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Oneida.
Oneida?
Not a high school.
Okay.
So I was playing in the mixed choruses, the bands, anything. I started playing out. Back then, this is the thing that bothers me with the technology today. Because you used to go out, whether you sucked or not, or sounded bad, that's how you got better. Today, if you go to a practice or you go to your first live show and it's terrible, it's all over the internet. The kids today don't have the chance to build up and get the experience of playing. You have to go out there and know everything immediately, and that kind of bothers me because they don't have the experience of what we went through.
Yeah,
sleeping in the back of the equipment truck.
Right. Breaking down on the side of the road. The PA blows up on you or whatever.
Plus, back then you had to bring your own PA and lights. So in the early Ardent days, we were traveling with a 24-foot U-Haul Rider, whichever one we could rent, and go to all these places and, have a couple roadies to help us and do it. Kids today don't get that experience.
You're right, too, because we live in the instant gratification age, and everybody wants it right then and now. It's got to happen right now.
Exactly.
And there's no cutting your teeth, right?
Right, that's the word, yeah. The kids today are not cutting their teeth. But I have tried that to do with Gunnar, who is now the drummer of Wicked. Before he joined Wicked, we were playing all these crappy places. We got into some pretty good places. We got into the casino, and he saw the experience of he couldn't do anything there because he was underage, and we had to go through all that. But even Ray Hill, what's his name there, the top guy at the casino, liked the way that Gunnar played, so he would come down, try to find out when his drum solo was and, sit out to the side and watch him. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
Gunner's lucky he's got you to kind of coast him along a little bit, guide him by the shoulders. Because you're saying just before that, the instant gratification age, the kids have no idea what it's like to take their lumps.
And we've taken quite a few.
Yeah, exactly.
And over the years, if it wasn't for Kevin, I don't think we would be where we are now. Because when Kevin was a few years older than me. So when we joined the Ardent, he took over the management agency, and he did all that, trying to get us into these shows and things. And Kevin, he had to be a jerk at times. Let's say that.
Well, if you're going to be on the business side of things, you kind of have to be a little bit.
You go and take, liquor off the bar, because you got people to pay. We played all this time, you work out deals and things. So yeah, that's the bad side of the business.
Yeah, there is definitely the shady side of the music industry.
And they all come out somehow. We attract them.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit, talk about DC Strut and Ardent. So Ardent came first, and then DC Strut was the follow after that?
Correct.
Okay.
So Ardent lasted up until the mid-'80s, towards the 87, 88.
Okay.
I'll go 88. Because we were all over the place.
Were you guys doing the glamour thing?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, there's tons of bad pictures out there, too. So going, we were playing all over. So I wanted to just touch on this for a minute. Back then, in those days, you could play a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And plus it was 10 to 2, so you get home 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning. My parents were getting up. So yeah, things were totally different.
But you could kind of make a living off of it.
But you could make some money back then.
Yeah.
We were playing up in Boonville at the Friendly Tavern. I know there's been talk here. We did play 4 Acres.
Did you?
April 10th, 1982, we played, the original Ardent played 4 Acres. I wanted to say that. And also, you were talking about other shows and places in Utica. The West Side Saloon in Utica.
Never even heard of it.
I don't remember where that was now, but we remember playing there.
Oh,
We
yeah?
played there quite a bit because it's listed on here. Griffiths Air Force Base, Lyons Falls, Sandy Creek.
Wait, time out. Where did you play at Griffiths Air Force Base?
They had like a
They had like a pub or something?
yeah, there
Did they?
was something there back in the day.
Okay.
Yep. JJ's in Rome.
JJ's, yeah.
Remington Inn. Tons of graduation parties.
I love it.
Ardent was one of the last bands to play at the Forest Hotel in Sylvan Beach in '83 before that burnt down.
So did you guys set that place on fire? It's all your fault.
We've been blamed for a lot of things. Why not? Bainbridge, we played up in Tupper Lake, the high schools. Let's see, Delhi, the Rue Bar in Canastota. We were playing I believe it was called Bruno's, before it was called Foes Beach House. So we were playing all that. And Rapini's down at Seneca Falls. So my point is, the Poorhouse North, Popeyes in Binghamton, and we opened for Orleans, or still the one,
Yeah.
down in Binghamton. So I mean, Ellisburg.
Is that where you guys doing a lot of opening slots
We were
back
doing a
then?
lot of opening slots
Yeah.
with Ardent. We did. God, now you put me on the spot here. I lost my concentration.
That's what I do.
Brighton Rock. We did that. Blue Oyster Cult, Benny Mardonis. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah. It's such a vibrant scene back then, too, right?
It's totally different. Totally different. Now, if we can play once a month or twice a month, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
Until maybe I retire. I got a 5-year plan. So after I retire, I'll go back and do all that.
Nice.
I want to retire.
Do you have, you talked about how you're recording and stuff like that, or you're writing music. Do you have home
I have
recording?
a home studio.
You
Yes,
do?
I've
Yep.
been doing some things, which goes to before Jerry passed away. He sang on 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
One is on the Four Large Men disc, and I am going to release that. He sang with my mentor John Gallagher from Raven. They did a duo thing, so that's kind of cool. So that's coming out. So I'm going to release an instrumental, which is called "If It Ain't Loud, It Ain't Right." Then I'm going to release decades of demos, all the other stuff I got kicking around, and then I'm going to, re-release the Ardent, the DC Strut, and the Four Large Men.
Oh, it sounds like
so
you got
that
a
is
good
the plan on that.
How do you get the guy from Raven to sing on that album?
Okay, so you're going back in my notes. It was, I believe, 1985.
I guess that's prepared. This never
playing
happens, by the way.
Whiffle Tree Inn in
Whiffle-
Cortland.
Okay.
Wacko, the drummer, we found out, broke his wrist. So in the bar when we were jamming, I talked to Gary Bordenardo from the Rods. So I have a Rods connection too. So we were playing the Whiffle Tree Inn with Arden. So in walks John and Mark Gallagher. Of course, me being me, hey guys, what's going on? And I knew all the history. Actually, we play On and On. You want to come up and jam? So they got up there and jammed. Did that one, and we played Led Zeppelin, rock and roll.
Nice.
So we became friends. So we pack our stuff up and go home. And then we said, well, we should record. And they were living in Cortland at the time. So I think it was Wasp, Saxon, and Raven at Nowhere City in Syracuse.
Where was Nowhere City?
That is East Syracuse before. There's like a heavy equipment place now. You go over the railroad tracks there, and it's going to like the Lost Horizon in
Okay.
Thompson. It's a little bit before all that. Penske's over there, I believe.
Okay.
And saw Typo Negative and some other bands there. So the main goal was, since we figured out that Raven are from Cortland, the main goal that night was to get a hold of John Gallagher. So as soon as the show's over, I think it was me and Kevin go barreling outside looking for John Gallagher. And there goes Exciter from Canada. It's like, I can't talk to them. I would like to meet them. There's John Gallagher. So our focus is that. So we got up there, hey, John. And he called me by name. Why he remembered my name, I don't know. And I said, hey, we understand that you're in the area, blah, blah, blah. But we want you to produce our demo. Sure. Write the record company, give me all the information. And when we're off tour, I'll call. Sure enough, he called. I was living at home.
No
My
doubt.
mother goes,
Are you thinking he's not going to call?
yeah. And he did.
Uh-huh.
So from there, we ended up recording 4 songs, which is on this that John produced and helped us write. And that brings us to the best record that Utica should know about. Raven recorded Nothing Exceeds Like Excess at UCA Studios.
Really?
At Bob Yager's, yes. And
I didn't know that.
Yes. So
What year is that album?
this came out 88.
88.
Because John already knew the studio from working with Ardent, and then somehow he talked to Mark, and then Wacko left, and this is the first album done with Joe Hasselbander, and so that's kind of how it all started. And after this, John, Eric, the bass player from Ardent, and Kevin, we went out as a roadie for those guys. So we would do sound checks, setting up their gear, playing for this. So yes, look at this.
That's awesome.
Nothing Exceeds Like Excess. Done here, recorded down here in
Do you know who
Utica.
did the artwork for that? That's cool artwork.
I think Joe did it. Joe used to do all kinds of drawings like that.
Yeah.
And it's on Combat.
Now, who's Joe?
Joe Hasselbander, the drummer.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So there's the Raven history.
When does UCA close?
I honestly don't remember.
It had to be soon after that, right?
But he was doing a lot of projects in there. So I know Carl Kennedy had his drum set stored in there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Carl from the Rods, right?
Carl Kennedy from the Rods.
Yeah.
So if you, going back to that, before John and all that, I'm on this.
Rock 107 Local Heroes. Whoa.
The first album that Ardent is on.
Wait, hang on. It's a Rock 107 flashback.
Yeah, with Ugly. I remember Ugly. He always came out to the shows. I wrote a song called All or Nothing that's on this.
Wow. So name off the artist on the back of that.
Okay.
How awesome is Rock?
Mr. Ed,
Mr.
Roger
Ed.
Wilco and the Radio Waves, the Donna Ray Band, John Leaving, Ardent, Zen, Chicks. We used to do some shows with Chicks too. Cat House, Night Watch, and David Dugan and Wayne Tolan.
Wow. And what year is that, bud?
Oh God.
How cool
it
is
doesn't
that?
say on here. 85 maybe?
Yeah.
85.
Rock 107. Talk about you're blowing my head off right now with a flashback.
See that's why I'm doing this.
I love this. This is great. This is great.
So, still going more forward with the Raven record. The best record of 2020.
Metal City.
Metal City by Raven. They have new drummer. Joe had a heart attack and no longer can be in the band. Mike Hellier on drums. Top record of 2020. Second record of 2020 is Carl Kennedy, Kennedy Warrior. So fight me on this. So there you go. And it's signed. John sent me a copy of
I
that.
love how you take care of your stuff too. It's in a nice
yeah,
little
it's all
plastic
there.
wrap. So you're a big collector? Do you collect a lot of
Yes,
different things?
I kept quite a bit, but I sold quite a bit when I had the stroke and got sick.
Yeah.
Sold like on my collectible, like King Diamond picture disc that went for sale, so we could pay the mortgage and eat and that. And some guy bought it like in Russia. They had all that stuff. I got too much. Deb, my wife, keeps yelling at me. I got totes and stuff. We were in magazines, Rip magazine, Screamer magazine, fanzines. I kept all of it. And there's some pictures on my Facebook page. I kept all of it.
Did you guys ever hit a national tour? No, just more of a regional thing?
Just around here.
Yeah, regional.
Here, New York State.
Yeah.
Ardent, of course, we had a girl singer. We were billed as rock girls. And now Boston, at this one Air Force base. So we pull up. We're looking, oh man, look at the line. They can't wait to get in to see us. It was at the movie theater. That was when Platoon started. So of course, you go to the other side of the base, there's nobody there. But after the movie, they all came over. But,
wow.
That was like one of those things. Oh, we're here. Spinal Tap moments,
Yeah.
when you're promised hotel rooms and, it's a mattress at the bar after it closes.
Catering and you get a can of tuna fish.
Yeah. Kids today don't.
Here's your peanut butter and jelly, kid.
Yeah, don't understand that. That's why we were so, skinny.
Yeah, it's taking your licks, man. You got it. And like we talked about earlier, too, the kids don't know. You need to go out there and struggle a little bit. That's how you take your licks, taking your licks for sure.
The Dave DeFay connection came in.
Now, who's this now?
He is a singer for Virgin Steel.
Virgin
This
Steel.
is the one that turned me on. 1986. This is the re-release version. I have this on color vinyl. We wanted to go out and try to do some shows down in Long Island because that seemed like the place to be.
Yeah.
So, of course, all the magazines, you open up down there. Who's headlining all the shows? Virgin Steel. It's a whole different scene down there. So back then you had to write a letter. It's not like you had Facebook or any of that. So I wrote a letter. Hey, we'd like to play some shows down there. So the connection came, and we never ended up playing down there, but we became very good friends, and we go hang out down in Long Island. So check them out. They're one of the bands, like I said, they're really not popular here. They go over to Europe, and they.
What kind of music?
They're more. Raven is more metal.
Right.
Virgin Steel is more progressive. I don't want to say like a Yes, but they're kind of like sort of like that.
Mm-hmm. Like different time signatures.
Yeah. More. They're written for more European music. Dave's got like a great voice, so he's all over the place. Operatic, barbaric, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Chilling with the Rick says you have a ton of totes, and he calls you a hoarder.
Who?
That Rick guy.
Who?
You know what I'm talking about. Never heard of him?
Never heard of him. But yes, Rick knows. I think I did a segment. He went down there. He saw that. I have all those posters. We were talking about, I think it was here. I saved it. I made a copy of it.
What do you got?
Yes. We talked about a K-Rock event that we were playing with Four Large Men.
Let's see that.
And
how long ago was that?
93,
it says
93,
on the bottom there. I can't believe I could see that far.
And there was Push, 9 Ball, Blob Mob, Toast, because I think somebody was talking about Toast on your show.
Oh, yeah.
Four Large Men, Terminal Rain, Black Orchid, Red Herring, Midian, Becky's Lane. Saturday, July 31st, 1993 at the Kennedy Arena.
Wow. How was that show?
That was good. It was nice to be on that.
Yeah.
A nice little things like that.
It's a great scene back then.
Yeah, it was. It was totally cool.
Robin's checking, and she sent me a picture, and I got to show you this too. It's a poster from MVCC, and she thinks right around 1988. It's DC Strut with Bonk.
Yes, we played that. I don't have a copy of that.
Yeah, she sent it to me, actually. I'll show it to you after the gig.
Yes, we played on there. Yes, we did. I have that written right here, MVCC. We did.
Nice.
We played on there. Back then, we played quite a few OUR parties with DC Strut and Ardent. One of your guests around here, Keel the Puppet.
Yep.
It was Love Bone, Keel the Puppet, and 33 Hertz. That was my first time coming back, 2006, after I had a stroke.
Is that when that was?
Yes.
06.
November, I believe it was November of 2006.
The concert series for life. It was the benefit for the American Cancer Society.
Yes. I think we were one of the bands that got banned from Woodstock because I tried to get in that and got nowhere. I've heard stories, you guys on here talking about that. FLM, Four Large Men with Wayne and Mike. We ended up playing a party with Gridley Page. So that's going back in
I never heard of them.
The 90s. Never heard of them either.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who was in the band at the time.
Well,
Gridley Page. They had different members. I'm thinking the guy Frank that's playing in Grit and Grace now, I think, was a drummer. In them back then.
Solid drummer. He's had a lot of lineups and always solid players in that band for sure.
Yes. And so.
You got a lot of stuff, man. You got a lot of stuff.
I'm back teaching. Now that COVID's over.
And he's not.
See this? The nurses on there. Well, we could probably teach the nurses a few things there too. But,
he showed me the brochure and he goes, "I'm back to teaching." And I'm like, "You're a nurse?"
I teach all the adult guitar classes at the Verona campus, and for BOCES. So the information's in there. Check it out. I'm in here. I also teach at the Oneida YMCA, guitar lessons up there, and I'm just starting to teach privately at my home.
Yes.
So,
do you have a bunch of students right now?
I got a few. I'm just starting to kick it back up because I don't want to do too much with the COVID, with all my health issues, but everybody's been real good.
True.
I have like a 9-year-old guy, and I have an 80-year-old guy that's playing too.
Wow.
So it's not just, and I always put a guitar day on. And last year it was supposed to happen for the city of Oneida, so I'm hoping that things pick up because I want to do that. I got some really cool students. One of my students is now the guitar player in the 169 rhythm section. They play locally in Oneida with Steve Seelman. Zach Lynch is that great guitar player.
Awesome.
And also before August, Ricky, check those guys out. Ricky Scallum. My prodigies, I guess you would call them.
Yeah,
right?
good.
So they're all. I got a couple guys out there.
Your Padawans.
Yeah, that if I couldn't happen, like we had a show with Love Bone, because I don't like to cancel shows, those two guys could come in and play. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So that.
I'm glad you brought up Love Bone. When did you form Love Bone?
Okay, we are happy anniversary. It's 19 years that Chuck and I have Love Bone together this August. 19 years.
It's the original lineup.
The original lineup was Chuck, myself, and Keith Carroll. So as we got going,
about 19 years.
the business and that. So then we got Gunner back into playing, so that's how we got him in there. So it was Chuck, myself, and doing that. But I am lucky enough to have got to play with the Steele Brothers, who played with Alice Cooper. They were in the band for a while. My friend Jeff Howell, who played in Foghat and the Outlaws. He played in Love Bone for a while. So, we're still friends. It's not like anybody's on bad terms. It's just the business.
Yeah.
So the new lineup, the last 2 years, happy anniversary, because it was January. We played our first show with Ian Evans and Joe Ruppert at the Westcott Theater. We have them for the Shot of Poison, the Poison tribute band.
Oh, cool.
That was a blast. And we had so much fun. We played with them at Sharky's in the summer. So we get along really good with those guys.
Awesome. So it's a 4-piece.
Right now,
was
Love
it a
Bone
3-piece at one time,
It was
right?
a three-piece. Chuck had back issues, so he doesn't hold the bass anymore. He is just taking over the vocal spot.
Oh, good. Shout out to Chuck Heath, man. Good man right there.
Yeah, so you got to try to get him out here.
Yeah,
Good
for
luck.
sure. Yeah, he won't do it.
Good luck.
He's not one for one of these type of things, right?
No, he doesn't. No, he wouldn't be out here for that. But he surprised me. How's that?
Love Bone had a good run, though.
Yes,
I mean,
did.
it's
Yes,
still 19 years. You're still a little active here and there. Obviously, you can't play too many gigs because
To the haters, we are still here.
Yeah,
you
you're
always
still
got those
active.
few guys that are haters.
Uh-huh.
They don't like what we do, what we play. We're still playing the 80s. I don't care.
Are you having
anymore.
fun?
I am having fun.
That
That's why
doesn't
we're
matter
still
what
doing
everybody
it.
else
That's
thinks.
right. That's why we're still doing it.
Exactly. You got to have fun and feed that creative soul that you have.
Yes.
You got to keep that going and keep ripping. So
try.
I want to talk about Gunner a little bit. How old was he when he was playing in Love Bone?
Oh, here we go. The age. Now I'm
Were you like waking him up at a 13-year-old, like, yeah, come on, kid, come play drums with us?
He was hyper.
Yeah.
There was always a kid down cellar, so he had a guitar. We got him a guitar for Christmas, and he can play a few things, but he was always down in the basement.
Uh-huh.
So, he'd come home, I'd be at work. Deb's there, the other kids are there, but he's the one that wanted to play.
Uh-huh.
My oldest daughter sings. My youngest daughter, she can't play, but if we need somebody to play bass, I say, we'll jam on Stranglehold or anything. Play this note here. So she'll play an A. And there's a video I think of that stuff out there too. So. So we just have fun with that. And,
That's good, though.
And then, like I said, we took him. He saw that, playing. We played a bunch of crappy places, and we finally had some decent places. And I was trying to sing back then, but I don't like to sing. I can't push it out. So I like to talk, kind of like a blues guy would. We were trying to play like Pretty Woman from Gary Moore, or Sunspot Baby by Bob Seger, that type of stuff, where you don't have to sing, you could just play. And I couldn't do it. So then I got Chuck back into playing after his accident with his back. So he went out as Coston, still playing that, and then Gunnar got the job for Wicked, and
which was a perfect fit.
Yep.
Perfect fit.
Yes, it was. And they're doing well.
Has he ever brought you to tears, like watching him play?
Not tears, but it's
Like a proud papa moment?
He did some pretty goddamn good, doing all that, playing like that. I would put him up against, pretty much anybody.
Yeah, he's a solid drummer.
Not just this, I mean, the double bass stuff. He's got stuff on his webpage. And now he's at the point with Wicked, they're letting him open up a little bit more. So there's some really cool stuff. I heard one song of the it's all going to come out. It's very good. He's playing more like himself, and they have shows booked overseas. Finally, they're playing a big festival. I think it's Belgium with the Electric Boys.
Mm-hmm. They work hard.
They do work hard.
They do. They work hard. They have a goal in mind.
They have lots of goals in mind, and more power to them.
It's good to see them.
Kind of have how do you say this? New management.
Yeah.
New direction. I don't know what actually went on, but brighter things are on the horizon for those guys.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, they got some goals, and it's good to see them do some work. And I'll tell you, the last time I saw them, it was just nonstop. It was such a high energy show. Mm-hmm. They did not stop for one. They played like a 2-hour show straight through,
yep.
and they did not take one break at all. It was just like one song after another, and it was really dialed in. And it's high energy, big performance, huge production.
That's what it is, and that's what they're continuing to do, with some slight changes on some of their things. So
yeah,
I don't want to. I'm not allowed to say anything.
Yeah, it's fine.
I already got like a gag order type thing, so I really can't say too much. But
zip your lip.
When they come out, you will be very surprised. It's like a whole nother level.
Awesome, good. That's great to hear. Sure. Speaking of drums, Dave Borgia, our friend, is hitting us up, and he's saying if you need drum tracks, hit him up because he's climbing the walls.
If you would have took that $100 from Bob and went after Mary, my bet would have been on Mary.
Oh, and then now
when Dave was on, he was talking about DC Strut, how somebody laid a $100 bill on the table to go punch Mary or something like that.
Oh, right.
Remember that? So my bet would have been on Mary. That was the other thing I had written in my notes.
Have you ever played with Dave?
Yes, we did a benefit last year for Jerry. So we got to jam a couple songs.
Hammerfest.
Yep, and that was a lot of fun, Hammerfest. And Dave was down at my house. We did, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs.
Mm-hmm. You're going to plan on doing Hammerfest again, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Bob. This whole COVID thing put a big kibosh on that. Yeah. So we'll see what we would like to do. I would like to do something going forward, yes, but it's all timing. And right now it's, because it was a year ago in February we did that. And, nothing fancy. It would have to be local.
Yeah.
It's almost not open right now.
Along to a year that you were here. Right, with the boys.
Was it?
Yeah, it was almost right just before Hammerfest.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think it was. Holy cripes.
Here we are a year later. And so much has happened in that year, right?
I know.
It went by like that.
Dave, all those guys, Mike from the Bomb, I filled in for the Bomb a couple of times and I needed people. Mm-hmm. Done this. I got projects in the work. I'm working with a guy out of towards the Boston area, Talon Black. He's going to be I'm going to do a little instrumental solo project here sometime soon. I got Talon on drums, and I have Freddie Villano on bass, who played with Quiet Raya and Dee Snider.
Wow.
So I'm just waiting for the time for that, and get Love Bone back out there and just start playing again.
You got a good pinch me moment?
Sometimes.
Yeah, like a pinch me, I can't believe I'm in this moment right now.
Yeah. I got a call at 12:30. I was still at work to open for Brett Michaels at the showroom because his plane was going to be an hour delay. The band was there, but he was not. Can I pull it off? Of course, I'm going to say yes. So I called my wife. I said, "What am I going to do?" Because it was like one of those things. What do you do? So I called, first person I called was Chuck. Chuck blew me off. I'm going to say that right off the bat. No, I can't do it.
Damn you, Chuck.
Because Chrissy, he could have done it. Yeah. So there you go. So I tried a couple other people, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody. I got a hold of Daryl from 3 Inch Fury. I've known Daryl for like 25 years. We used to play together, Four Large Men, and he was in Backseat Romeo, all that stuff. I've known Daryl, never played with him. So Daryl goes, yeah, let's do it. So we met maybe like an hour before the show. We ran over some stuff just acoustically, and we managed to pull off like a half-hour show or something like a 45-minute show, just going through songs, playing together acoustically that we knew. So that was like one of those, because the guys, the Poison guys, Brett Michaels wasn't around, but the Poison guys were like hanging out. You guys sounded great, this and that. They came back, and it was just, that was cool, hearing that from them. But as far as like an aha,
How cool is that? You pulled it off like that.
that was I think that was it. Otherwise, meeting people like I met like Twisted Sister. I met all those guys at the Lost Horizon, Overkill. King Diamond Man may have been one of those. Pat Travers is my idol. So yeah, I kind of got stuttered when I was talking to him.
Did you?
Yeah, the first time meeting him way back when, it's like,
You fanboyed on him?
yeah, it's like, yeah. So, but I got the privilege to play with Pat many years ago at the Westcott Theater. Who else I've met? Motley Crue, all the guys, Testament, Exodus, Anthrax, all those guys. The one that was the biggest jerk, now everybody's going to fight me on that. Who was the biggest jerk? I met the guy twice. He's still the biggest jerk. To me, to this day, I don't even want to listen to his music. And unfortunately, that is Bon Jovi. So there you go.
He was a jerk to you?
He was a jerk. They played the Lost Horizon. So Richie Sambora was cool.
Yeah, I met Richie.
The bass player tried to pick me up. The keyboard player was kind of weird, but he was all right. Doc McGee. Doc McGee, to me, was very cool. John Bon Jovi was the last autograph I had to get. So he was in the dressing room, and I was talking with Doc. He was really cool. So I had the record. So John comes out of I waited, I don't know how long.
What record
20
they had?
minutes. The first one was the first album.
Self-titled?
So he came out of the dressing room, walked right by me, saw the record there, and Doc grabbed him, and he goes, you need to sign this for this kid. And he goes, I didn't see you standing there. Hello? It was just Doc and I, and you had to walk past us. It just...
He rubbed you the wrong way.
Just weird. So then they played the Utica Odd with Cinderella, so we got to meet him there, and he was just a jerk there. I'm done.
Yeah.
So then I
No
find
Bon
out...
Jovi for you.
So then I find out years later, I got to work with a guy called Joe Ellis. He played in a band called Cats and Boots and Heavy Bones. And those are legitimate releases on EMI and all that. After I had the stroke, Joe liked some of the Love Bones stuff, and I sent him a message, hey, great, they were doing some reunions. Joe flew into Cleveland. He goes, I'm trying to work on these demos. You want to come out and I'm playing them? Sure. So I got out there and I played with, didn't know what the songs were like, never sent me anything. I just grabbed my guitars, my amp, I just went in there and just started playing. And to this day, I have no idea. Still what I played, I played. Come to find out, Joe has some charges, the information out there against John Bon Jovi for stealing some of his music. Because Joe wrote, I'll Be There For You, and had a demo and gave it to John and said, would you please, pass it along. So it's all documented on Sleaze Rock and some other places that John Bon Jovi did, plagiarize I'll Be There For You.
Wow, I didn't know that. Huh.
So
huge hit for them, too.
And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. No, you've had a great career, though.
Yeah, so overall, do I have any regrets? Of course, there's a few. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but you can't reflect on them.
No, you can't. You got to keep moving forward.
You can't reflect on them. That causes depression, reflecting on regrets.
So there's just some things, some people that I like to try to fix. Yeah, there's one person I think that I would like to fix, and I see him now again. I think just one of these days I'm going to go out there and just say, hey, look, it was about the D.C. Strut Ardent reunion, and things didn't work out the way that they should have. And maybe it's because of the time. That was the last time that we all got to play with Kevin, before he passed. And this person should have been there and wasn't, so. But...
What about Four Large Men? When did that take place? When were you doing Four Large Men?
Four Large Men was the 90s, yes.
90s, okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Wayne Johnson.
Yeah, and Monster Mike Merrifield.
Yeah, I've known Wayne for a few years now. And
yeah, so, we're still all friends. And they played at the reunion. It's not like, we all hate each other. It's just a sign of the times. Things just didn't work out the way that,
shit changes, man. Things happen. Families, and there's jobs, and there's just life gets in the way.
Yeah, that thing called life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way. What do you got there?
I'm trying to go through. I pretty much said everything.
I love it.
You know,
He took notes. Nobody ever takes notes.
You know, I'm just trying to get through life. You know, I do want to, you know, start playing again.
Yeah.
I do have to give some shout outs to
please do.
a couple of former New Yorkers. Rick Fox. Rick Fox came up with the name Wasp, and it's been very well documented. And I want Blackie Lawless to say that Rick Fox came up with the name Wasp. So I got to put that out there for my friend, former New Yorker Rick. He ended up playing on the Steeler record, and he was, of course, not on the first release from Wasp. He was let go. Jerry Best, former New Yorker bass player that played in Lion, and he's done a lot of stuff. I got another vocalist friend that I always want to work with, so this is a plug out to you. Nader DePriest from London. Read a lot about him. I'm friends with him on Facebook. We have talked. I have tried to get him out here, tried to book him out here, but logically it didn't work out. Let's see. Russ Beckwith, the loudest Motorhead tribute that I was in. Gunnar and I played with Russ. We ended up playing a show in Elmira at one of the Nick stocks.
Oh, yeah.
Russ, we're Motorhead. You got to play loud. So Russ had this equipment. He had 2 crate cabinets with 2 crate heads. They were 120 watts apiece. I had both of them on 10. Russ had this stuff. And there's a video out there on roycoston.com that you can see. And we were loud. They heard us for miles.
Oh, I bet.
And that was a lot of fun.
Nick Stock was always a good
shout out
time.
to him. Oh, and also a big shout out to Ronnie Monroe from Metal Church and Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Ronnie is trying to get a project going. I'm going to be the guitar player. Monster Mike is going to be the drummer. Wayne is going to be the bass player. And the other guitar player is another great friend of mine, Riff Miller, so from Tango Down. So I got to give a shout out to them. So now that we're doing some shout outs, how about this? Another Syracuse native that nobody has spoken about. He played on the best great white record there ever was. Gary Holland. My friend Gary, he's from Syracuse.
Oh, yeah?
There he is. Yeah, he played on the first great white record. Yes, Gary, I got this too. That was, and then the next album, and then they broke hit big with Once Bitten, Twice Shy.
Yeah, so that was the album before that?
That was the album before that, yeah.
So what's that, like mid-'80s?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They did.
How did they pick a kid from Syracuse?
He went out there back in. Actually, Gary was also one of the original drummers in Dockin.
Oh, yeah?
And he just, after he graduated school in Syracuse, he drove out there, which many people did back then, you know, to try to do something.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, you look back at that. Should we have done that, you know, after what we were doing through Ardent? But then again, we got a lot of, you know, we had our thing back here. We had our, you know, Sunset Strip at Coleman's and the things in Rome at the Lost Horizon and all that. So where does that go?
I don't know, brother. One thing I do got to ask you, because we talk about this all the time, and especially on Mondays with Local Music Monday, but Local Music Hall of Fame. And you told me there's a guy that we have not been mentioning, so I need to know.
I have not
I need to know who that is.
Doug Thayer.
Doug Thayer.
He graduated from Rome. He played with Ronnie Dio and the Prophets, and then he went on to manage Motley Crue.
He's from Rome?
Travers. He is from Rome.
Wow, I didn't know that. Doug Thayer's from Rome.
Yep.
Because he went on to Motley Crue. I know he was there for the Motley Crue.
Yep.
Don't they mention him in the Motley Crue movie, too?
Yes.
I think they mentioned him real quick.
Yep. And he played with Ronnie Dio and the Prophets.
Did he
I believe
really?
it was. And then
What did he play?
In Elf, and that would have been in the 60s.
Yeah. What instrument did he play?
You're really testing my memory.
Now I'm trying to put you on the spot.
I think he did keyboards for a while and some guitar.
Very cool.
Yeah, that name was not mentioned, so I wanted to make sure that.
So he co-managed with Doc McGee.
Doc, yeah,
okay.
and all that, yeah.
Yeah, and then he went on to do. Wow, I did
Because
not know.
1989.
You're blowing my mind right now. I didn't know he was from the area.
He was from Rome. I tried. That's what, according to Wikipedia, and but going to DC Strut, Randy Wilczek did the cover of this, and Randy Wilczek's cousin is Doug Thayer. So when I was shopping the DC Strut tape out in LA in 1989, I met Doug before around here.
Did you?
And so we were at one of the conventions, and first thing I did is I saw him over there. I ran up to him. I said, Doug. He goes, Roy, what are you doing here? I said, I'm handing you a DC Strut tape that your cousin, Randy Wilczak, did the cover for. And he looked at it. He said it was kind of cool. So you're trying to, sell your stuff out there and plug. You go to anybody. So
Yeah. So you had a relationship with him when he was living
just
here?
there.
Just there.
Short.
Yeah, okay.
Not, he wouldn't know who I was probably now, but.
That's amazing. I did not know this.
You try to keep in touch with all those guys. Like the guys from Raven, they don't come to the house to see me. They want Deb's food. They want Deb to cook for them. So, as do my buddy Opus and Ray from the Black Sabbath tribute band Earth. And Opus plays in a band called Dead by Wednesday. And they're kick-ass. They stay at the house when they're on tour. Ray and Opus did some backing vocals on one of the songs I'm going to release. Night Demon, those guys were out on tour. They stayed at the house. I mean, it's, we open our house, everybody.
It's a big pond to fish from.
Yes, it is.
And it's cool that you open up your doors to everybody like that.
There's no money on tour,
right.
Or hotel expense or whatever the case may be. So I couldn't tell you how many times, Raven's been at the house, staying on tour. There was a snowstorm one night. I think it was November. The show in Pittsburgh got canceled, so they spent an extra day at the house.
Oh, cool.
And that's all documented. There's videos and things. And some of the pictures that I took of, like, when I was on tour with Raven, that just came out. They blew away. In 1994, they played the Foundations Forum, and they played the side stage and blew it away. And Bob Staffa and another guy took a picture of me working on Mark's guitar with Dee Snider standing behind me.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Oh, I like to see that.
That's on my Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I mean, I've done all kinds of things. And just
What a life, huh, bro?
Yeah, so I really can't complain. I wish I would have took more notes after a while, but some things I forgot due to the stroke, but
yeah,
just plugging along.
It's awesome, man. Anybody else you can think of for a local music Hall of Fame?
Probably the Frogs.
The Frogs?
The Frogs, Brian, Mark Antonio. Mm-hmm. Probably Frank Cosmo,
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm trying to think of people that before. Oh, nowadays, like you said, you have, Bob Acquaviva. You guys mentioned my name. I mean, you got a lot to figure out how you're going to classify.
Yeah, I know.
All that.
It's a lot of work, actually.
I don't know how.
I think we're going to make it happen, though.
Good.
We're going to try to make it happen, for sure. I love it.
If you need help, I'll help. Let me know.
So back in the day when you were gigging, were you out supporting other bands too, or
We
were you
used to
just
go all
too
the
busy?
time. We
Yeah,
used to go see everybody.
yeah.
Luftwaffe. God, now I'm drawing blank. Dave Borgia was the drummer for that band.
Fallen Angel.
Fallen Angel. Used to go see all those guys all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to go see all those guys.
Yeah, it's good. It was a more vibrant scene, though.
Yeah, it was. And I think back then people did try to help support other people.
Yeah, for sure.
Then towards the end of the 80s, it became too much rival.
Yeah.
Everybody was for themselves.
Did you have a rival band?
Not that I recall.
You've seen the movie Rockstar, right?
Yeah,
With
we
Marky
watch
Mark.
it all the time when it comes on.
Right,
Yeah,
and so when the two Steel Dragon
we're not a
bands
cover
are
band, we're a tribute band.
and they fight each other, which is probably the best scene in that whole movie is when the two tribute bands are beating each other up.
We're doing so much of that.
Was there any of that going on? Bands fighting each other in the parking lot afterwards?
Yeah, there was little things like that. Especially when you're with each other, it's hard to keep a marriage together.
Yeah, totally.
To this day, my wife's been with me 25 years.
Yeah.
Ask her how she does it. She's my rock. But
hey, man, this is great. It's
how
good
much
to
time
catch
we have? We got a couple more minutes.
I got it.
Special thanks to Christina Avila. She helps.
She reached out to me, actually.
Yeah, she's done a lot. She's trying to break into the business as a promoter.
Gotcha.
And she's got me into some European magazines, so I'm kind of cool about that. My name on the front page of a UK magazine. I love it.
I love it.
She's done a lot for, like, Lou DiBello. He's another guy that lives in Cleveland that has played on my solo stuff. She's done a lot trying to push us around. Other than that, I think I hope I mentioned. If I didn't mention you, I'm sorry. We'll do a part 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, as we roll out the credits.
Yeah. Which one? Wait, what are we rolling out the credits for? Let's see.
DC Strut, Ardent.
And all these are
Love
available.
Bone is on a Kiss tribute.
People want to hear any of this stuff. How can they hear it digitally?
Go on roycoston.com. I'm
Gotcha.
all over Facebook. The original Love Bone done at Tony Torres' studio. There's a whole nother venture we didn't even touch on.
Shout out Tony Torres.
We'll give a shout out to Wayne. There's some songs I co-wrote on that with Wayne.
Caroline Blue.
4 Large Men were on Paris Records with Sweet Jezebel. Love Bone was on Hollywood Hairspray with Bone, Inside Out. And there. So all the haters, there you go. And so much more. We wrote music for different movies, plays, records to go see. And yes, we did support other bands. The Rods at Coleman's. The Rods.
The
There
Rods,
you go.
yeah.
Big influence on me. There you go. To this day, we're friends. We can't forget, if it wasn't for David Cassidy.
David
and the
Cassidy.
Parsons family, there would never be a Roy Coston.
Come on,
or the
get
Monkees.
happy.
You gotta remember the years. Used to stay up. Also, another guy we used to go see all the time, Billy Sheehan, Talis.
Yep.
Some at JJ's,
Buffalo.
Coleman's, all the time. Of course, Man o' War. Local buddies. We used to go see and steal ideas from them. We opened for the New York Flyers.
They were hot back then, huh?
Yep. And again, Dave DeFay and John Gallagher, my mentors. All those bands back in the day, Alpha Centauri. We used to go see and play with all those guys. God, I wish I could remember. Wits End, Looney Tunes, in Westmoreland. All those places.
Yeah. Good memories, man. Good
all those
memories.
will come in part 2.
Nice. I love that you brought props, man. This is cool. Super cool. Great hanging with you, man.
Thank you. Same
This has
here.
been super cool, and I'm glad that we can walk down memory lane together. And
Thank you. RoyCoston.com.
RoyCoston.com. That's the order
My
of the
family,
day, people.
thank you for their support over the years. My family, my kids, grandkids, they're watching.
I love it. I love it. He makes funny faces. Shout out to my sponsors, too. If not for my sponsors, this podcast isn't possible. So big ups to EJA Moving Services, attorney Dave Longaretta, Utica Coffee, and the Saranac Brewery. Roy, this has been awesome. Go to roycoston.com and go check out all the music he's been involved with for so many years. Freddie Waters is saying good show, Roy. So thank you, Freddie Waters. If you're out there on Facebook land, please do us a favor and click the share button to help spread the word of Disruption Network and everything that Roy has going on in his life. And he's rocking out there. And hopefully when this Corona coaster is over, when we get off the ride, we can have a big old party and just have a big old festival.
I want to come and play that. That was the last thing I was going to tell you. I want to play that party.
We got to make that happen, man.
Nice big jam session.
Would love to have you there. And yeah, I want to get like 40 guitar players out there and have everybody on 10 and hear it for miles.
That's what I want.
That's what we all
I do with my
want.
guitar students. Big guitar days. At the end, go out there and everybody just jams.
Yeah, for sure,
That's
man.
what I want to see.
Good hang today, brother. Great to see you. Thank you to everybody out there watching, and we will see you again. I'll be back tomorrow with the Uncle Louie Variety Show. Later.